This is the story of Chris Do, who fled Vietnam at the age of 3 with $0 and nothing but hope. And he went on to build a 7-figure business, and he now charges $30,000 an hour. Thanks for joining us on the Productive Insights podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. I hope you choose to subscribe to get more content like this. Let's dive into Chris Do's story. Imagine this. You're 3 years old and you're starting over in a new country with nothing but hope. Today we're diving into the incredible story of Chris Do, who went from fleeing Vietnam at the age of 3 to achieving his goals of becoming a 7-figure entrepreneur and beyond. This conversation is a testament to the power of goal setting, persistence, focus, and determination in achieving big goals. Welcome to the Productive Insights podcast, Chris. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me, Ash. I'm happy to be here.
Chris was barely 3 years old when his family fled Vietnam during the fall of Saigon in 1975. They landed in Kansas City, Missouri, leaving everything they knew behind.
My parents fled Vietnam April 30th, 1975, the fall of Saigon. I'm 3 years old. We land in Kansas City, Missouri, where we're going to reset our life. We leave everything we know behind, our culture, our language, our food, our customs, everything behind. We've lost everything. And so we're starting over from the very bottom of the rung. My dad was in the military. I think he was an engineer. And so he didn't have to actually shoot a gun or do anything like that. My mom worked at the embassy as an assistant. So we landed in America, and it was through, I guess, the kindness of people in the church, because we're Catholic, and the Catholic Church members supported us, so we had sponsors. So eventually my parents are able to make enough money to move from Kansas City to San Jose, California, where I essentially grew up from there, from about the ages of 5 to 18. And throughout this time, there's an emphasis on education, about trying to do better than your parents and living the American dream.
Adjusting to a new life in America, Chris's parents worked hard to make ends meet, leaving Chris and his siblings to navigate much of their day-to-day lives on their own. Chris and his siblings were latchkey kids.
My parents worked very hard. So when we grew up, there was a term, it's called latchkey kids. Essentially, they go to work before you wake up, and you lock the door, you go to school, bus back, and then you take care of yourself until mom and dad can come home and take care of dinner and take care of you.
True to his entrepreneurial spirit, Chris was a risk taker.
We got into a lot of trouble, nothing criminal, nothing like that. But we would explore construction sites, go into caves and light firecrackers. We'd go to the creek. There was an incident where my brother almost drowned and he had to be resuscitated, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of wild stuff.
Chris faced the considerable challenges of growing up in San Jose, California. But even back then, he explored his entrepreneurial spirit by trying small businesses of different kinds.
But one thing that I really wanted to do was to be a person of my own means, to have the freedom to buy the things I wanted. I'm not unusual in that way. I think I'm just like every kid. So I'm a teenager. There's this idea of a paper route where you throw newspapers and deliver newspapers. And that was a coveted job, because when you're 13 years old, you can't work until you're 15. And I want to make something. So I figured out ways to try to make money. I started a car washing business, failed because it's just too hard work. I'm too small. I go to the local creek, I catch crayfish, and try to sell them to neighbors, but I'm too shy. I don't know who to sell it to, so I just wind up giving it to my grandma. It's doing stuff like this over and over again, failing each and every single time, but the drive is there. I know that I want to do something where I can take advantage of this concept of arbitrage, buy low, sell high. I even tried to do a business selling candy because my uncle owned a liquor store. I put in an order at wholesale, which is like an amazing concept. Like, you mean the price they sell it at the store isn't the price I can buy it for? This is incredible. So I'd put my order in with my cousin, who then would pick it up for me and then bring it over, and I would sell the candy. I would do that for a while, but I was thinking, this isn't fast enough. This is taking a really long time.
So the years roll on and Chris graduates high school. Chris's older brother, who he really looks up to, is at University of California, San Diego, and invites Chris to come and live with him.
So I'm 17, 18 years old. My older brother is 4 years older than me. He graduated from UC San Diego. And these were his words, I still remember. Get away from the parental units. My older brother, his name is Arthur. I love him. He's always seen things in me that I couldn't see in myself, way ahead of it, right?
Wow.
In many ways, for much of my childhood, he was like my surrogate father, because he taught me about how to dress, how to behave, how to defend yourself, those kinds of things. So I drove down to San Diego and I wound up living with him for about a year. And the time was meant for me to prepare my portfolio.
But like in all our stories, there's a girl, and that relationship starts to break down.
And the problem was I had this really sticky, messy, toxic relationship with this girl that I fell in love with, the first girl I ever fell in love with. It was a bad relationship and everybody could see it but me. And I held on to this idea that she was going to be the one. Instead of focusing on my work, I was like calling her. And then my brother would get the bill and he's like, what is this? And my brother at this point had gotten me a credit card. He was paying things for me. And I just took it all for granted because I'm a dumb kid. All of a sudden, there's some strife between us. And I don't think it really came from him, but the lady who he was living with, his girlfriend, later to be his wife, was seeing like, hey, our life was great. And then you invite your ratty kid brother who's messy, who doesn't cook, who doesn't clean, who's racking up bills. So I'm sure it's creating some problem, but I don't know this. And I'm just like, I don't like her. And then my brother eventually gets fed up with me too. He's like, I see you, you're here, you're hanging out, you're doing homework really late, you're watching TV show, late night TV show, and you're not doing your work, you're not applying yourself, and you said you would. And at this point, I'm going through a really tough time with my girlfriend.
Chris discovers problems that take him to a really dark place.
We break up, I find out that she's dating some guy, and I'm like, this sucks. I'm feeling all that stuff, the self-pity, wallowing in self-doubt. I'm telling my mom I'm crying. I'm just like, oh, my brother's such a mean guy, he's not looking after me, he's so cruel. And my mom's like, you know your brother's taking care of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't understand, Mom. No one understands me. You go through that whole bit. And then I just felt like so brokenhearted. So my girl seeing some other guy, my older brother who doesn't look out for me, I was like, he betrayed me. My mom turned her back on me. These are the stories you tell yourself. I'm in my room, door closed, just crying my eyes out. And I'm laying on the floor next to the futon. And I'm laying in that fetal position, just feeling the depths of my depression and my sorrow. And I just thought, I don't know if I want to continue living like this. This is a bad place.
Eventually, he has his moment of truth.
I remember having an outer body experience, floating above myself towards the ceiling, looking down upon myself, and like as if you're directing a scene from a movie and you can see it from the boom arm of the crane comes up and you can see yourself.
Many of us have moments of despair, but it's how we respond to those events that define us.
I looked at myself with judgment. I said, who is this person? And I remember thinking like, you're way cooler than this. This is a terrible person that you became. And you're breaking promises to yourself. Like you broke promises to people, but you're breaking promises to yourself. You said you're going to be somebody. And right now you look like a nobody. That was like my eternal dark night of the soul. And I went really dark and deep and explored that. Like, what is the ultimate outcome of this kind of thinking and this behavior? And I was ashamed of myself.
And Chris makes a very clear decision about how he is going to show up from here on in.
And I dried up whatever tears I had left. I went to sleep, and the next morning I woke up and I became a different person. I said, you know what, Mom, I'm going to show you one day, and you're going to regret saying that, this wasn't going to be a good idea.
He never looks back.
So I got quickly over the negative emotions of it and got caught up in the positive, the virtuous part, which is, oh my God, the things you're capable of doing if you're focused. And immediately people could see, like, who's this guy now showing up to class? The person we met on Friday or knew is a different person on Monday. Because this happened over the weekend, this dark night of the soul. And I'm focused and I'm doing work and my output is crazy now compared to everyone else. And my teachers immediately recognize this, like, oh, you want to go to Art Center? We're going to help you. What do we need to do to support you? And so it seems like there's this whole tribe of people who are now conspiring to help you when you're ready to be helped. And my life changes. And I tell people, that's the night that the boy died and the man appeared. And the boy needed to die so that the man could be there.
I have a question for you. What do you think was that thing that flipped the switch for you?
So it's kind of like one of those movies that you see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where Doctor Strange hovers and levitates and he thinks about all the possible futures. He's like, and he comes back in a snap. He says, I've calculated there's one way this works. It's a narrow chance. It's 1 in 48 billion, but it could work. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, I know the one way it's not going to work, which is to continue down this path. I'm going to be a total loser, reject, and I'm going to be so ashamed of myself. So I knew that the opposite of that was the way.
Chris's journey to success was marked by hard work and sound strategic decisions. He founded the company called The Future, an online education platform that's helped countless creators build and develop their businesses and careers. His YouTube channel now boasts around 2.5 million subscribers. The power of education and sharing knowledge can't be overstated, and Chris's impact on the creative community is a testament to that. One of the keys to Chris's success has been his mindset. He continuously challenges himself and pushes boundaries. By focusing on providing immense value, he's been able to command fees as high as $30,000 for a 45-minute engagement.
So from 15 grand, I just say it's 30 grand. Here's something that I don't say that often, Ash, which is this. I go to conferences. I'm a really critical person. I'm in the backstage. I'm in the green room. I'm in the audience. And I'm listening to people bomb, talk about themselves, show you their portfolio and just go blah, blah, blah. Not entertaining, not engaging, super awkward. And here I am putting my heart and soul, trying to deliver value, be engaging, helping them with social promotion, hanging out, Because a lot of speakers, what they do is they speak and they disappear. Because, you know, I don't blame them. They're equally awkward and shy. They don't want to be around people. But I'm already here. I'm already bought and paid for. I want to go talk to the people now. So that's when I realized, you know what, it's 30K. It has to be 30K. And I think now it's even low because I hear people getting paid way more than that. And I think, do I bring more value? Do I move more butts and seats? And I think I do. And if that's the case, then I need to be paid more. And here's the thing about life. You don't get what you don't ask for, Ash. And if you don't ask for it, they're not going to volunteer to pay you more.
It's inspiring to see how a shift in mindset can transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Chris Do's story is a reminder that resilience, creativity, and determination can overcome even the most seemingly insurmountable challenges. From fleeing Vietnam to achieving goals of seven-figure businesses and beyond, Chris's journey is an inspiration to us all. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to leave a comment, share it with somebody else who you think might benefit, and subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot more content just like this coming your way. Thanks for watching.